Good evening. Welcome, everyone, to the March 11th regular meeting of Walpole Select Board. It's now 7 o'clock. I call the meeting to order. Let's all stand and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we dive into our agenda tonight, I wanted to just take a moment and acknowledge the passing of Rich Mattson. Rich was an employee here in the town for 10 years in the highway department, and he was tragically killed in a tree cutting accident about 10 days ago. Rich was 39, married to Danielle, father to Declan and Kian, and he is also the son of Rick Mattson, who's our Director of Public Works here in town. Rich was very much loved. His activities in the community and in coaching and with young kids are legendary, and he'll surely be missed. This is a terrible tragedy. I will say that the outpouring of support and the tribute that we saw this past Saturday down at the Ross Funeral Home in Rentham was amazing. There was a procession of DPW trucks that came from our DPW garage, went down Common and down 1A and circled the funeral home. There were probably 40 trucks in the procession. Many communities represented. Our Walpole Honor group was there, and many fire and police. There were people there from tree services that Rich worked with and for. Many family and friends, certainly the employees of the town, all showed up in force. The wake went on for several hours, and the line was around the block for the whole time. It was really amazing. A truly sad story and event, and our hearts go out to Danielle, Rich's wife, the two boys, Declan and Kyan, and also Rick Mattson, and of course the entire Mattson family. So I'd ask that everybody stand, and let's offer a moment of silence for Rich Mattson. Thank you. Our first appointment is at 7:05, and it is 7:05, so we have a public hearing. This is a request of NSTAR for a grant of location for a pole. Could I have a motion to open a public hearing?
Yep, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0, we're now in a public hearing. Carl, I think you're going to take us through this request.
Good evening to the chair, members of the board, Jim and Aoife, Carl Baldoff, town engineer, and yes, I will take us. This is a fairly routine request. It's for a new pole on the southerly side of Norfolk Street. It's to service 241 Norfolk, which is a new garage down there that's being built currently. My only concern was that the pole be located in such a fashion as not to be on top of the new water main that was installed there and not in the way of a sidewalk that's going to be done. All that work is being done as part of the Bristol Brothers Renmar AQV project. It is not, so it's very simple. I'm recommending you approve this location.
Any questions for Carl? Okay, I'll entertain a motion. Oh, actually, is there no one here from the public to speak? Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're now out of a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve the request of NSTAR Electric Company and Verizon for a grant of location to install one pole, number 126/21A, for service to 241 Norfolk Street.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Thank you.
We're a little early for open forum, so we're going to move us ahead to new business. And Carl, I think you're going to help us out with this next piece of business as well, which is street layouts for several streets and what we need to do to accept those. So Carl, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, Carl Baldoff, town engineer. We've got 4 streets, fairly small streets, I guess Boyden's the biggest of them that have been complete, actually, for quite a while. For one reason or another, they haven't been able to make it to the finish line. But we've got these four, which are Boyden Lane, Echo Way, Bubbling Brook Road, and Portland Way. All of them are cul-de-sacs. One of them's an extension of an existing road, that being Bubbling Brook. Anyway, I've outlined in a memorandum that I delivered to the board March 6th the steps that you must take. Tonight, I'm going to ask you that you vote to your intent to lay out. That wording all comes out of Chapter 82. These roads have all been created by the planning board, so you're not creating anything new. You're just going through the statutory process to make them a public way. So the memo outlines the steps. So that's what we've asked you to do tonight. I do point out in there that we're still working on some administrative items on these roads, and hopefully that'll all be cleared up by the time you actually vote the layouts. And that we're also taking them through the final steps in the planning board as well. So all these things are hopefully going to come together on schedule.
Great. Thanks, Carl. And so, looking at the memo, we've got the vote tonight for intentional layout, the following roads. Then we have a public hearing that will happen on April 8th.
Yes.
according to the memo. So that's our next board meeting. Okay. Any questions for Carl?
Nope. I'll make a motion that the Select Board intends to lay out the following roads as public ways. Boyden Lane from its beginning at Station 0 plus 00, plus or minus, to Station 7 plus 76.73, plus or minus. Echo Way from its beginning at Station 0 plus 00, plus or minus, to its end at Station 2 plus 51.52, plus or minus. Bubbling Brook from Station 24 plus 05.65, plus or minus, to its end at Station 26 plus 54.81, plus or minus, and Portland Way from its beginning at Station 0 plus 00, plus or minus, to its end at Station 2 plus 66.27, plus or minus, and to hold the public hearing on April 8th, 2025, beginning at 7:05.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
500.
Thank
Anything
you.
else, Carl? That's it?
That's it.
Okay, good. We'll see you on April 8th.
Thanks, Carl.
Okay, close enough for 7:10. Open forum. Anyone here? Doesn't look like it, so let's keep on moving. We have vote to sign the spring 2025 town meeting warrant. Jim?
Sure. So what you have in front of you is a summary of the articles. We have 16 in total. Finance Committee has basically already voted on everything with the exception of the FY26 budget and the zoning articles. They're holding off on that until probably sometime in April. So if you'd like, I could run through some of these and the select board could vote on the various articles.
Sure, let's
that
do it.
FinCom's already considered.
Yeah.
So Article 2 is the FY25 budget adjustments, snow and ice and prior year bills, recommending no action. Jody and I are not aware of any adjustment, and we have about $220,000 left in snow and ice budget. Things are looking good the next 10 days. I'm guessing we'll close out with around 200,000 or so in that once the salt shed is fully restocked. So recommend no action.
You want me to
Sure. Let's
put a
do it.
motion? Yeah, motion to recommend no action on Article 2.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Article 4 is the sewer and water FY25 budget. Recommending no action on that. Those are doing well at this point.
I'll make a motion for no action on Article 4.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Article 5 is the FY26 water and sewer budget. Recommend favorable action on that one. Sewer and Water and Finance Committee both voted favorable action on those budgets. I'll take any questions.
I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 5.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Walpole Media Corp budget is Article 6, and Finance Committee recommended favorable action. Current balance in that account is $842,000, and they're looking for about 530 or so, plus or minus. On a side note on that, the agreement is coming up for renewal January 2026. I've already spoken to Tamara, and I've spoken to Kristen Syrick, who's the chair We're going to probably be working on something to more or less memorialize the changes that have gone in. I think we signed that back in 2015. We need to reflect some of the updates we've given as far as the new space and the new area of the high school. So Kristen's well aware of this, and she's on board with it. So we'll be updating that this year.
Okay. Any questions for Jim?
No.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 6.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Article 7 is the prudent investor rule. John Sheehan and Lisa Sinkus came in and spoke to the Finance Committee members about that. This will provide them with a little bit more flexibility in as far as what they invest, the trust fund commission funds in there and the funds that Lisa has. So they're looking for us to accept that Mass General law.
Questions for Jim? Mark?
I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 7.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Article 8, which is sponsored by the Select Board, will allow for up to 2 additional licenses for the sale of alcoholic beverages in the downtown general area. Finance Committee voted favorable action on that.
Questions for Jim?
I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 8.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
1 opposed, 4-1-0.
And Article 9 is the public ways, which you just voted to lay out and hold a public hearing. Recommend favorable action on that. Finance Committee voted favorable action 13-0-0.
Mark?
I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 9.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Okay, and the rest will pick up as the Finance Committee addresses.
Yes.
Okay.
And Patrick, I did include in your packet a little summary here that Patrick drafted up for the zoning articles. They are pretty long, and Patrick did a great job summarizing them in the memo dated February 27th. Patrick and Jim Crowley are scheduled to go before the Finance Committee again at the end of the month, more or less to just give a summary. And keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
I would just ask that we continue to reinforce the message that the reason that we voted the ADU bylaw a couple of town meetings ago, and now we're updating it, is because the state has changed the law. We are looking to become compliant with the law and introduce a couple of controls that we think are prudent for the town. There will be questions about, the sequencing that happened there, and I just want you to keep reinforcing to everybody you're talking to as to what the sequence was and why we did what we did. Okay? Thanks.
One last vote. Aoife just reminded me, the board has to vote to sign the warrant. So,
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to sign the warrant.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0.
Jim, quick question. If I could, yeah. So we're the Select Board is the sponsoring entity for Articles 10 through 16, right?
yes.
Okay. And if I heard you right, Jim, you said the FinCom is going to wait to vote for them until after the public hearing?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
they are going to. They had asked to take it up for discussion, to have Jim and Patrick in at the end of this month.
Okay.
I suggested to them that was kind of their past practice on this. Their hearing is on April 3rd, so
Yep.
I think they will.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent items as listed on the March 11th agenda.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. And the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 25th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Jim, the town administrator's report.
Sure, just a couple things here. MWRA connection. Sewer and Water Commissioners voted last night to send a letter over to Norwood advising them that the commissioners are going to take up giving Norwood $250,000 a year for the next 20 years, advising the general manager that they'll likely be bringing it to town meetings at some point in FY '26. I'm not really sure when. Ideally, that would be the fall, but I'm not sure if everything will be completed by then. I know the Select Board, last time we met last February, had asked for multiple items, basically a funding plan, what's your priorities, and come back before us in May. The only thing that commissioners didn't follow through on was come back before us in May. They did vote a funding plan. Rick and Steve Nunnery are verifying some of the notes I had, making sure it's accurate. So I expect that the commissioners, and I don't think it's no fault of their own that they didn't simply come back. They wanted to work through it. They were looking at other options. as far as a connection through Canton, a connection down 95, is there anything through Westwood we could use? But all roads led back to the Mylord Street connection. So that's where they're at. They're moving forward with that. So I expect once I get a sense from Weston and Sampson, Rick and Steve, as to where we're going with this, I probably set something up between now and some point this summer.
Okay, well, better late than never, and I think this is a good thing. I've thought this for a long time, that we need this additional connection, and I'm glad to hear that they have finally worked their way through the process. I'm glad they took their time to do it. And we've come back to the site that we thought was the best site at the time, now a year plus ago. And it's good to see it moving forward, so thank you.
Yep. Health insurance.
Can I jump in there? So $250,000 a year for 20 years, is that all in with the town of Norwood? Do the other upfront costs?
I expect there'll be also wheeling costs, which is basically
So that's not the wheeling, that's just
No,
the
that's
straight up,
just the infrastructure
on day one,
improvements
payable over
that
time.
they Norwood had wanted, so.
Plus whatever our burden is on our side, which is also significant.
Yeah.
Okay?
Is that it?
I have a lot of questions, but that's it for now, yeah.
I have some more questions as well, but we're good for now. Thank you.
Okay, health insurance, I'm pleased to report that earlier today, we met with the union presidents once again, and they've agreed to sign the proposed agreements to the health insurance. Most of the changes were reflected in some of the deductibles we had, so they agreed to that. I think it's a fair deal for both sides. It's going to save the town a significant amount of money heading into the budget, because we did face a deficit of about $300,000 in that particular line item. So great job with everyone involved. Kevin Feely did great work. Mike Frisha, Bridget, Patrick, Christine, and Aaron down in HR. Just thank you all around, and good work. So I expect at your next meeting we'll have an agreement to present to you to sign. We'll also present it to the school committee. I've already had 4 or 5 different groups come in and sign it. I'm just waiting on a couple more as far as the employee groups are. So good work. I'm pleased with that.
And they are going to be able to do the annual enrollment starting in April 1.
Yes, I actually
Yeah, it's really good.
informed Maya this evening, and I asked her to make sure that we promote the programs, explain what the differences are as far as the Plan C that's offered, what's the group, what doctors and which hospitals are in
Yeah,
it. So,
really good work pulling that together in a short period of time, and seems to be well received by the union, so
yeah.
good.
Budget, we're just about set to go with the budget. I expect the Finance Committee will vote the final motion on the budget on March 27th. Warrant is going to be sent to the printer on April 1st. We're working with department heads, Stephanie, myself, Aoife, and Patrick, on what information to be included in the RTM packets, and we'll have everything on track to be done in early April. So we're looking good there. And St. Patrick's Day events for that great Friday afternoon event down at Lake Pearl, set to kick off around 11 on Friday. DPW will have everything all set. I know Patrick reminded me that the Council on Aging breakfast is about 8:30, 9 o'clock on Friday also, so it's going to be a fun, busy day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
That's it.
Any questions for Jim? Okay, so I think that wraps us up. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a
to
motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0, we're now adjourned. Thank you very much. Good night.